The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Are you a film fan who loves the ultimate home video experience? Look no further than The Disconnected. Your host, Ryan Verrill, is your go-to source for the latest and most accurate information on home video releases, exclusive interviews with industry insiders and filmmakers, and has established a thriving community where every film and physical media enthusiast feels welcome. From hidden gems to blockbuster hits, The Disconnected brings you insider knowledge and a welcoming space to share your love of cinema. Watch every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific for the live announcements show, and follow The Disconnected on social media to stay updated. Subscribe to The Disconnected on YouTube or on the podcast provider of your choice, and dive into a world where every movie night is an adventure.
Police Squad in color. Starring Leslie Nielsen. Also starring Alan North. And Rex Hamilton as Abraham Lincoln. Tonight's special guest star, Florence Henderson. Tonight's episode, Terror in the Neighborhood.
Welcome to From the Files of Police Squad in Color. I'm your host, Mike White. Joining me, of course, is Mr. Chris Dashew.
Gesundheit.
And with us, of course, is Mr. Mark Begley.
More than anything, schnooky lumps.
On this episode, we are talking about the third episode of Police Squad, Rendezvous at Big Gulch, which was aired July 1st, 1982, several months after the fourth and fifth episode aired, even after not before the sixth. This one, yeah, it feels
confusing.
It's like Christopher Nolan released these episodes.
Oh, is that what this is like? Is that what this is like?
Sure, yeah. Well, this storyline takes place over a month, and this one's over a week, and this one's over a day. Good luck figuring it out. Fuck you.
Burned him all the way to the ground. I was watching this episode this afternoon. I was watching it with my folks, and they were like, well, I can see why this show didn't last. And I was like, yeah, it ran about 6 episodes. They really didn't have any faith in this show, did they?
No.
Shockingly little faith it was given to this show, which I don't understand, because even though this episode is kind of more of the same of the literalism, it's still really funny.
It's pretty darn funny, and there's a lot of good jokes in here. And this one is one of those that, again, I remember it clear as day, the whole thing with the locksmith. And, of course, one of the greatest lines of all times, who are you and how'd you get in here? I'm a locksmith, and I'm a locksmith.
Delivered perfectly in this.
So good.
That's one of the great straight man lines of his. It's delivered brilliantly. The beat between the Ima and Ima is just perfect. I had a fun time watching this one.
No, it was great. And yeah, introduction of Nordberg as a character, which is fantastic. I was so glad to see Robert Costanzo and John Ashton in here as Leo and Rocky. Barely recognized John Ashton at first. This is like pre-Beverly Hills Cop. He's still got the long hair and stuff. But he plays a heavy really well. I mean, Robert Costanzo, he's made a living off of playing mobsters.
I'm a huge fan of John Ashton from his time in Meet the Deedles, the Paul Walker, Steve Wormer, Bill and Ted knockoff from the 90s. Isn't that that's a deep pull. That's a movie you haven't even seen, Mike.
That's right. I don't even know if Father Malone's seen that movie.
No, I don't know. Mark Bagley, have you seen that one?
No. I thought you were going to say Meet the Feebles, actually. So.
one of John Ashton's lesser roles.
It's hard to picture him without his mustache.
Right? Yeah. And in that movie, he plays the head park ranger at Yellowstone. Can't you just see him dressed up like that? Like, in everything else I've seen him in, he plays such a good hard ass. And it's interesting to see him here as a goon.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much a goon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the plot of this one, as it were, is that there are mobsters who are shaking down various business owners in whatever city we are in.
Yeah, there was a picture of a map. I didn't take note of it.
I can't remember if it's this one or the next one where you've got the Eiffel Tower outside. I think it might be this one.
It's this one, yeah.
Yeah.
When he's talking with the dance teacher. One of the first victims of being shaken down. Great joke here of the dance teacher telling the little girls, do what I do, follow me. And then when she's getting beaten up, you cut to the little girls and they're doing the reactions of the teacher getting beat up. It's so good. So Frank and Nordberg have to go undercover as locksmiths, not oxsmiths, by the way. One of the
another good one.
God, what a groaner.
That's a great one. Well, the Keister one is another good one.
Those were the things that were keeping me going on this one. I'm like, okay, there's some name play, but these dad jokes are working for me.
Oh,
my little
so
Keister.
Good. The one that got me the most is when they're passing the paper back and forth, and it's like you have to have the paper so that you can say the next line. It's almost like the lines are on the paper. I really like that. When he says, oh, she's looking pretty rough, Frank, after the dance teacher's been beaten up, and he goes over and there's Quasimodo sitting there. Not that bad, Frank.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am.
Similarly to the last episode, they take a lot of it literal again. It's a lot of literalism. Again, I think it works for the most part. I don't know. I'm feeling like having, watched 3 episodes of the show now, I feel like I can tell when they're going to have the joke, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and that's the joke. And then they cut away, or then somebody, and it's like, all right, I appreciate that. I think the jokes that worked for me in this episode are less of the literalism jokes and more of the wordplay and the sight gags, because the sight gag with the keys does work every time they do it.
Yeah.
Which I would think it would stop working after a while. Probably the 3rd time, because I think they do it 3 times at least.
That's the comedy rule. Yeah.
Yeah. It works for me, but it's like the literalism is a little much.
Put a tail on her.
Yeah.
You know where that's going as soon as he says it.
But you don't actually get to see her with the tail on, correct?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
They don't follow through.
Right. This one was written by a writing team of Nancy Steen and Neil Thompson, and they worked a lot together on things like Night Court, and I can't remember if they were together on Night Court. She worked on things like Mork and Mindy. She worked also on Hot Shots Part 2. She actually has more writing credits than her partner, I think. And then he was more about Night Court. But this is one of their early stuff. And then Pat Proft is also on here. Pat Proft has done a ton of stuff. I tried to speak with him a few months ago about Real Genius. So he had his own writing partner, Neil Israel, but this one is Proft on his own.
I think it works for the most part. I mean, we're kind of just going through all of the generic setups for a cop show. I mean, but that's, I mean, the cop show that it's parroting, it was a lot of these kinds of, go undercover, go fix stop a fight from being fixed, like we saw in the last episode. It's drawing on the actual cases from the show. For the most part, it works. I don't know. It is hard to really comment on whether or not the show would have worked, because in a lot of ways, the show kind of doesn't work. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. It works almost in spite of itself in a lot of ways. Like, this kind of show should not have worked as well as it does, I don't think. And again, I think our opinion on how well it worked is going to vary from episode to episode, but this is a hard show to maintain the energy for 6 episodes. It really is. And it does show. I mean, there are parts of this where it does kind of just plod along a little.
They're exhausting to watch in a way, because and maybe it's because I'm watching them for this, so trying to spot every gag, you have to hit pause or you're going to miss the next one. So scribble down your note. But even when I watched them a couple last year or something, it is exhausting to have joke upon joke upon joke. And it makes me think at some point it's going to wear really thin on the audience, and they're either going to have to cut that down and go more plot wise, which probably wouldn't have served the show much better. I know that everybody bemoans the fact that it only lasted 6 episodes, but if it had been, say, a 13 episode season, or God forbid a 22 episode, there's no way it would have lasted beyond one season. Either way, 6, 13, 22, whichever, there's no way to maintain this level of jokes. It's tough to watch 2 back-to-back sometimes. You're talking 50 minutes of just at least 50 jokes in those 50 minutes, if not more. It's rough work.
it's hard.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
This is tough, people. Come on, give us some credit.
All we do is just talk about pop culture.
I mean, we did talk a little bit on the last episode about why the show got canceled, because they were like, well, the audience has to pay attention the entire time. And I get it. I mean, I get that sentiment. Yeah, I don't know. It is a very funny show, but it is, like you said, it is kind of exhausting to watch.
And like you said, the plots themselves, which are just there to have a show, are so incredibly basic. Going undercover in a locksmith shop. I enjoyed all the stuff in the locksmith shop. I really liked that Nordberg was so into his job there.
So good, yes. We just got a big order on deadbolts.
Filing it down and losing all the keys. This is a tangent, but I've read this before when I watched it in the past. Supposedly that old guy that he's helping is Billy Wilder.
He looks like Billy Wilder.
Yeah, but when he pulls his hat off, he has too much hair. So I was like, is that really? Because he was pretty much bald on top from my memory of seeing pictures of him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, it's IMDb, so he's similar looking, but I don't know.
It cannot be trusted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the sign, the stack of them in the back, the keys, and then the Francis Scott keys and the turkeys and the
honkies.
Honkies is the best one.
And then later on, you see a little bit wider shot, and there's a pot roast after the turkeys. And the continually raining stream of keys that Nordberg is shot into the ceiling.
Closes the door or something. Those keys just boom. It's a funny gag. It ends up really working.
I like when they get shot at and then they duck when the rock comes through the window.
Rock! The subversiveness of the show, I think, is what really works. And obviously Leslie Nielsen's performance. He's just such a good straight man. Is straight man as the lead, obviously, which is pulling double duty. That's not easy. The straight man normally is not the lead. He just happens to be the straight man and the lead. It plays it so well that is the reason I am such a fan of this TV show and those movies is because of Leslie Nielsen. And almost, I mean, the jokes are funny, but it's Leslie Nielsen's performance. I mean, he is Frank Drebin. Even if I know Leslie Nielsen was drastically different from that character, I can only imagine him really as Frank Drebin. Even in Airplane, like he's playing a different character, but it might as well be Frank Drebin, proto Frank Drebin in a lot of ways.
There's one shot, it might be in the next episode, where he really kind of starts to mug a little bit. I was like, oh, that's the thing from Naked Gun that I didn't like, where he does a double take type of thing. And I'm just like, no double takes. You have to take this all 100% seriously. One thing I didn't talk about in the last episode is the whole thing about, because you kind of get a little bit of this here, the whole thing about when he was living with another man and how everyone in the neighborhood was talking about it and how he went off and got married and sure, you met her, but didn't really see the value in her. And you kind of start to get that a little bit with this whole Schnooky Lumps discussion when he starts to really talk about how, what Dutch is it? How, it felt for her to be crushed up against his manhood and all this stuff. And I'm like, that works so well for him to be so gay about things sometimes.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to see that come back after that. His bit in the apartment in the first episode, I believe, where he's talking about his roommate. It just keeps talking about it.
I mean, that is the thing about this show that would be hard to understand if you didn't watch the episodes before. I don't know. It's weird because it's like it effectively becomes like an in-joke, right?
Well, it's one of those through lines, like the cigarette gag.
Yeah.
That has appeared in all 4 episodes, I believe.
Or Mr. Olson, right? This time he's talking to the little girl about static electricity. Like when your mom takes a dress out of the dryer and the way that it clings to her.
It clings to every curve.
Yeah. And bring in those magazines you found under your father's bed. Oh, so good.
We have a repeat of is it in this one or is it in the next one? Where instead of Frank leaning over to talking to the intercom.
Oh, yes.
Hawken does. And I thought, they're going to do something different. But no, it's the same gag talking to a dwarf.
Yep.
But I mean, are people going to remember, we're talking early 80s here. Are people going to remember that was a joke from the first episode? Is it a callback or is it just, let's just kind of recycle stuff? I was expecting something different this time because we've done that joke. And yes, we've done the cigarette gag every time, but, is that the point of that, to have it in every single episode? I'm assuming it's going to be in all 6, and maybe it would have been in all 13 or 22. I don't know.
Chris and I, we talked a lot about this when we were watching Kolchak and when we were watching stuff back to back to back and like looking for themes and looking for, the mythology and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, this is 10 years after Kolchak, but it still is this whole question of what would this have been like? And we got to see this, Mark and I, the first time around on television. And I mean, even now watching it off of DVD, it's like, well, what would this be like with the commercials back? How would those pauses in between the acts, how would that affect me? And how would it also affect me, a week or maybe even a month between episodes because they fucked around with the time line on this thing? How would that be if I see one in March and then the next time I don't see it is until July? Am I able to know, they just use that gag? Even like from a commercial break, it's like, we're talking about, you can't keep that up. And it's like, well, would commercials add to that? Would they actually like give you a little bit of a breather, let you have that pause in between all of these jokes? Or would this just play better as a movie? I mean, are we going to reevaluate Naked Gun and be like, oh no, this actually worked very well? I mean, for me, it was just like, I've seen all these gags before, but I'm curious as far as like other people when they saw that who weren't familiar with Police Squad, did they just think that these were all brand new gags and did they find it infinitely more funny than I did?
It's kind of like another show that has this kind of weird pre-show existence. Ted Lasso had a whole YouTube like commercial NBC Sports thing where he was the character, and they have a lot of the gags from those in that first episode of the show. And I didn't know that the first time I watched it, and I saw it after the fact, and they were funny. But now in hindsight, it's like, that's a kind of lazy. It makes sense. That's what they initially got everybody's attention with. So why not include it? They did it kind of reverse here. It's the show, then the movies, I guess, whatever, how you want to look at it. Now it's going to make me question the jokes when they use them in the movies.
Right.
They're funny. I can already see the gags that show up again when they show up in the movies. I think they're done better in the movies. I think they do a good job in the movies of picking the stuff that does work from the show. But it's surprising the cigarette gag's not in the movies.
It's not?
Not that I can remember. It's definitely not in the first one.
I will be looking for it for sure.
Remember, there's no Johnny in the movies either. Ted, the guy in the lab, he's in like one scene, and it's completely different. He's not a creep at all. He's just, I don't know, just kind of a dick. They do change the formula a little bit. I think they change it to maybe make it a little bit more palatable for the screen. Some of the jokes are kept in there completely. Like you got something on your face is 1 for 1.
No, other side.
It's 1 for 1. What's funny is if you look at that gag in the second and third episodes, that gag hasn't really worked as well since they did it the first time, because they've done kind of riffs on it and it hasn't worked as well. Is it in this one where he has the long hair?
It's the next one. In this one, he had run into a fire sprinkler.
Right.
Yeah.
What happened to your
fire
face?
sprinkler? Oh, yeah. Get it. I get it. Well, and who do we have Johnny talking to this time? Speaking of recurring gags.
This one is a fireman, yeah.
Talking about polyvinyl. It is just surprising that gag is left in the show and it doesn't make its way into the movie.
Is that guy dead, maybe?
No.
Okay.
He's still around, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Even.
I don't think he's around now.
He's no longer with us. Are you
He was
here
probably
now?
35 when they shot this.
Yeah. He was
He
born in
looks 45.
1923.
Oh.
So he'd
be 99.
Yeah. He died in 2011.
You know that off the top of your head?
No, that's the internet.
Oh. What?
Yeah, I know. You probably thought I knew it, but yeah.
I did.
One of the last roles that he was in was Old Concession Worker in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Go from Johnny in Naked Gun to concession stand worker.
So he would have been 60 at the time of Police Squad.
Wow.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, he actually looked pretty darn good then.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So, and he definitely was working when the Naked Gun movies were made.
Yeah.
That was around the time that he was in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, was one of the first ones of those.
It's kind of surprising. Like, I know we talked about why we thought it didn't work because
Right.
it's kind of like a tonally out of
Yeah.
like place time wise, but like,
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see what other sort of out of time references there are in the movies. I mean, I know they do really try to upgrade them to be current day, you know, especially, I can't remember. Well, yeah, they've got obviously Queen Elizabeth II. I don't think they start getting into like the Saddam Hussein stuff until
That's the
the
first.
Hot Shot
first one.
movies. Oh, they have.
They have the Ayatollah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They have Ayatollah, Gaddafi, Idi Amin in like the first scene of Naked Gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
It's
haven't
fucking
seen it in
weird.
a long time.
It's very weird. Where the show is right now, it is a cop show. The movie is not. The movie is like, it feels so like imagining in my mind where we're going to get to tonally with the movie. I mean, this show is parroting, at least this episode is parroting James Bond.
Mhm. Yeah. I did really appreciate that with the cat, and then when he ducks down into frame.
That was the best part.
That was great.
That was really funny.
That's a good visual gag.
Felt a little bad for Florence Henderson. She doesn't get to do a whole lot before she's shot in the credit sequence. I was really hoping for a little more. I want to say that there's some Wesson cooking oil on the counter where she's at.
Yeah, there's a big jug of oil. This is like the coffee commercial, Chris. She was spokesperson for Wesson Oil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Saw those ads constantly.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
oil need? I don't understand why you would need a spokesperson for oil. Tangent here. What the fuck do you need to be convinced to buy oil for?
Well,
if
it's
you
like
cook food,
That brand, come on,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it's like syrup. You know, everybody
Right.
wants syrup. Everybody's going to use syrup, but you have to use Aunt Jemima.
all oil is created equally, and it's called Old Mill now, sir.
Oh, my bad.
I think it's Aunt Jemima's Old Mill and Uncle Ben. What the fuck is Uncle Ben now? I saw it at the
Christ.
store. It's like Ben's Choice or
Oh, my.
Ben. Yeah, have you seen it, Begley? It's like it's. The
I know
same
it got
packaging.
changed, but I don't know
Yeah.
what it's.
Ben's
was
Choice
changed
or
to.
something. Yeah.
I'm a
I
Mrs.
don't know. This is
Butterworth
weird.
man, so
Why does Wesson
Oh.
need? Why do you need an advertisement for oil? I'm just asking. I'm just asking questions.
Nabisco needs to make that money, man.
Until then, they just cook things with water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna boil my food in oil. That's what we call deep frying. And fried. Oh, can you imagine that? Just cooking fried chicken in water, breading and battering fried chicken, and then putting it in
Oh.
boiling water. What a fucking what kind of crime against humanity is that?
Mm.
Jesus Christ! When I saw the thing with Florence Henderson, she shows up in the third movie towards the end. So
Right.
Is she cooking with Wesson Oil in the movie?
no, she's. I want to say she's like
That
at
would
the
be
end.
too dated by then.
Yeah.
She's at the end of the third movie. Third movie has to do with like blowing up the Academy Awards. So there's a bunch of cameos at
Right.
the Academy at the end, and I think she's one of them.
Well, she's of that celebrity type like Weird Al Yankovic, even to the point where he used her in the Amish Paradise video.
Right.
She just has that cachet as like Mrs. Brady, and she's supposed to be so squeaky clean. So when she shows up in other things like that, it's like just kind of funny that she's such a almost like a Z-list celebrity, but she's not. You know, she's pretty darn talented, and she really knows how to play with that image, and you know, shows up in funny things and is able to take the joke.
I mean, it's essentially the Barbara Billingsley joke from Airplane, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh, I speak jive. It's like it's double funny because it's a white woman saying it, but also,
It's the Beaver's mom.
yeah, it's
Right.
the Beeves' mom.
I like how they were trying to get all of the other Leave It to Beaver actors to be in their projects. I think they said they got stood up by Eddie Haskell.
As you do.
Tony Dow is in Kentucky Fried Movie, I believe.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I think so. And I think he's playing his.
The Beaver?
Well, he was the brother. What was the brother's name?
Oh, Wally.
Wally, yeah. I think he's playing Wally in that.
Okay.
It's been a while
Yeah.
since I watched it.
I gotta look it up. Yeah, it's been a while. The last time I watched it, I just watched it for Fistful of Chopsticks.
Catholic Schoolgirls in Trouble. Oh, I watch it for Catholic Schoolgirls in Trouble.
I watch it also for Big Jim Slade. So,
Oh, yeah. That's good. It's a fucking funny movie.
yeah.
What did you guys think of the freeze frame at the end?
This one was which
coffee.
again, watch
The coffee.
coffee, which sort of repeats
A little bit
kind
of a
in the next
repeat.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
This is the pouring of the coffee, though. This time,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Which is the
Yeah.
funnier of the two, I think.
And yes, it is Tony Dow as Wally in the courtroom segment. Oh, also Forrest J. Ackerman was a jurist in that segment. I did not know that.
There's a lot of people in that. I'm always surprised when I look at the list. There's actual actors in that. Bill Bixby and a whole bunch of people.
And I'm sorry, it was a fistful of yen. For some reason, I always think it's fistful of chopsticks. I don't know.
That might be a better title.
It's
mean-
full of chopsticks. How many can you hold?
Well, I mean, yen versus dollars, I suppose. But yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess that
Evan
makes
C.
sense.
Kim's so good in that. And then, yeah, it's Jack Baker as the guy who's listening to the sex record with Big Jim Slade. Jack Baker, who was Styx in Happy Days and also went into pornography and was amazing in New Wave Hookers.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
6 degrees of separation.
Yes. Yes.
I will mention A Fistful of Gyoza would be a pretty good title for a movie. But it's just about a guy who walks around handing people gyoza on the street from his fist.
I would eat those.
Yeah.
Well, I hope not.
I don't know. I like gyoza.
I mean, I like gyoza too. Gyoza's pretty good.
One of my other favorite gags is during the fight at the end when it's like, look out, he's got a knife. Look out, he's got a club. Look out, he's got a signed Picasso. And when he looks totally normal, and then there's that weird cut where he suddenly has all the makeup on to make him look like he's been in a fight, and then they cut again and it's all gone.
I love it when the stuff disappears from scene to scene. That's one of their rules, like don't drag it on too long. It doesn't matter if it doesn't show up in the next scene. Screw continuity.
Exactly.
Well, and you mentioned Nordberg's introduction in this, and it goes to that out of order thing because he is sort of properly introduced here as one of the undercover detectives, and that's why he's in on this now. So when you watch the next episode and he's already there, and then I'm curious to watch the one that was actually produced 5th.
Right.
It's not so jarring. Like they don't stop and say, hey, here's Nordberg, new to the crew or whatever. It's just like, oh, he's here. He would have been there either way in whatever order you watched them in. And so, but it just struck me that like, oh, yes, they actually do kind of introduce him in this.
Right.
And either way, this was, he hadn't been in the first 2 episodes. And that's why I think last time I mentioned that, it seems like he's sort of the cousin or the orphan child that comes in to add some spice to the show, even though there were only 3 episodes in. We need somebody other than 2 straight men to flesh this out. Speaking of the Brady Bunch, who was the little cousin?
Cousin Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver. He's the cousin Oliver, Police Squad.
I didn't realize what a career Peter Lupus had before this, and he kind of fits into this whole never playing comedy before type of thing. Like, I mean, yeah, he was in the Red Skelton Show, these kind of things. He was in Challenge of the Gladiator. He played Spartacus. He was in Goliath at the Conquest of Damascus, also playing Goliath. He played Hercules. This guy was built like a brick shithouse when he was younger. And then he moves into like Mission Impossible, and it's just like, okay, so he's playing some very serious roles for a long time. And then he comes to this, and he is a natural. Like you said, like his joy about being a locksmith and, selling these locks and telling people about their specials that they have. He is so into it, and he hits every single note. The only bad thing that happens in this is the way that he flinches when those gunshots go off. And I know that he's supposed to be standing totally still, but you can definitely see him flinch.
And they're like, fuck it. We can't reset all those squibs. No take 2. Yeah, it's pretty noticeable. I was like, oh my gosh, he totally flinched.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely has the face and the chin for all those roles you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
That, who was the guy that did Hercules like
Steve
in the 50s?
Reeves?
Yeah.
I only know that because of the song. We could take
an old Steve Reeves movie. Man, I swallowed that drink real fast to get back for that one.
I'm going to put an image in the chat here.
Are we seeing the cracks in the show yet?
Oh, not for me. I'm very forgiving of this show, though. So you guys might be seeing cracks, but I'm all about this right now.
I liked it more when I watched it this morning than I remember liking it when I went through the whole series previously. So I was having a good time with especially all the gags in the locksmith shop in particular. I think I enjoyed this much more than the second episode. So maybe not as much as the first, definitely more than the second. There is still literalism, but not as much, and not as much of the goofy name play.
I was going to agree. It's funny, we talked about Nordberg and the way he's introduced, and like, it feels a lot like when Jess and I did The Prisoner on the one season show, where it was filmed out of order. And so the characters just kind of introduced and with no fanfare because the character had already been introduced.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait, hold on. That does kind of stick out, but I agree with you, Mark, and with you, Mike. Like, this show is still very good, but this episode is better than the second one. And the second episode's been the weakest one so far of the three.
And even of the next one that we watch, I think. The one joke that I really liked was, and it sort of gets repeated, I think, in the next episode or something very similar, when the floozy comes in, the setup that Dutch sends, and she's ordering the 50 copies of her key, send 49 to the Chicago Bears. Why don't you bring the other one over? If you're paying attention, she doesn't say where she lives. So his next line is, it took me 2 weeks to find Stella's apartment because she didn't tell me her address. And I was like, that's great, because that is something in a show that they do crap like that, where they leave out information and you're just supposed to assume the person got it somehow. And they make a point of it. And I really love that. And also when he gets there and she shoots and there's the target on the door, which is a gag. But then when they cut back to it, it's, in a position where it's been shot. There's the follow-up gag to the first gag. So I liked that whole scenario with her.
It's still really tight. All of these jokes are there for a reason. And for me, they just play out well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm still having fun.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the stuff in the key shop is a lot of the best gags in this episode. A lot of most of the episode takes place in the key shop. So there is that. Watching Leslie Nielsen when it's like the door is locked and he just slams himself backwards into the glass and opens up the key shop. That's all the good jokes in this episode for the most part revolve around something happening in the key shop or the oxsmith.
Gonna have to cough up the money. It's only $20.
That for me is where this episode really shines. Is anytime there, it's Frank and Nordberg in the key shop or the locksmith shop.
I like it when he's taking care of them, the goons, the first time, and he blows on his knuckles.
Yes. And the whole neighborhood is applauding and cheering him on. Why don't you stay in the street till Tuesday? That's when they pick up the garbage. All right. Well, I would ask what we're all up to, but Chris, why don't you just tell us what we're all up to these days?
Yeah, Chris. Talk for all of us. Talking monkey.
You can find all three of us over at weirdingwaymedia.com, where all three of our main shows are, Mike's show being The Projection Booth, Mark's show being Wake Up Heavy, and my show being The Culture Cast. You can find those three shows along with this show and a whole lot others over at weirdingwaymedia.com.
We will be back next time with a look at Revenge and Remorse, the 4th episode shot and the 4th episode aired. So figure that one out. Until then, go ahead and leave us a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, hopefully over on iTunes. Let people know that people are actually talking about Police Squad and that we're doing a really good job.
Tune in next week for another exciting story from the files of Police Squad.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Dev Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.